morning, citizens of Republic of Korea. I stand here today to protect the human rights and free will of our people. Are you familiar with the MK Ultra project? This was a secret mind control experiment program conducted by the CIA during the early Cold War period. It began in 1953 and was halted after 1973, but it has since sparked controversies of human rights violations and ethical breaches both within the United States and internationally. The project was initiated as a response to concern over brainwashing techniques allegedly possessed by the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea at the time. Its purpose was to develop methods for controlling or manipulating human behavior and thoughts to enhance psychological warfare and intelligence gathering capability. This involved research into mind control, torture, brainwashing, and interrogation techniques. The experiment involved the use of powerful hallucinogens such as LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, drug administration, and electric shocks. As a result, numerous secret experiments were conducted without the consent of the subject, causing irreversible physical and mental harm to some. In 1975, during Ford administration, the Church Committee formed by the U.S. Congress officially exposed the existence of MK Ultra for the first time. Later, on October 3, 1995, then President Bill Clinton issued an apology regarding the past human rights violation related to MK Ultra, stating, when the government does something that is wrong, we had to admit it. That is the only way to build trust for the future. What was done should never happen again. This technology has since been passed down and continuously developed as a core technology related to mind manipulation and cognitive and behavior control. Now, I will talk about some of the current neuroscience technology being developed. First, there are non-invasive brain stimulation methods such as NIBS, non-invasive brain stimulation, TDCS, transcranial direct current stimulation, and TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. These use electromagnetic waves to regulate excitability in specific brain area, which can induce effects such as alleviating depression, improving memory, and enhancing attention. However, regular use can influence behavior patterns and decision making. Second, brain-computer interface, BCI, which reads brain waves and connect to external device to enable communication and command execution. Currently, this is actively researched by Elon Musk Neuralink, as well as in China, Russia, and European Union. Third is neurofeedback, where users monitor their brain waves state in real time and train themselves voluntarily to induce specific emotion states. Since the 2020s, many countries have actively discussed neural rights, which are privacy rights protecting brain information. Fourth are drug and biochemical technology. Through the refinement of psychoactive drugs, it is possible to selectively stimulate, inhibit only the necessary part of the brain by targeting specific neurotransmitters. Relatedly, truth-inducing drugs have been developed and are undergoing use and experimentation. What I've just mentioned may sound like conspiracy theories, but in fact, due to advance in neuroscience, AI, electronics engineering, and military technology, these are actively researched or partially implemented in real cases. Based on this, I will explain the current status of research and development in 4 key areas. The first is brain memory hacking. This technology reads, deletes, modifies, or inserts memories stored in the brain, primarily related to hippocampal activity. Since 2015, a research team at MIT has successfully manipulated the memories of mice by electrical stimulation. They implanted pulse memories to induce feel responses in specific environment. The newest DARPA developed an implant device aiming to restore damaged memories of soldiers through the Restoring Active Memory program, which is currently in use and under research. Second, mind reading. By analyzing the brain's electronical activity in real time, it is possible to interpret unspoken thoughts, images, intention, and more. In 2023, a research team at the University of Texas reconstructed images, sentences into text by analyzing fMRI data with AI. It is also possible to detect a person's intention, emotional states, and focus level in real time through brain waves, and research and development on this continue actively. Third, mind control, controlling thought and behavior. This refers to technically inducing or manipulating human emotion, judgment, decisions, and action. It is one of the most ethically and politically sensitive fields. Using techniques like TDCS or TMS, weak electric current can be applied to specific brain regions such as the prefrontal cortex, amygdala, to regulate impulse control, reduce anxiety, and alter decisions. This allows modulation of motor judgment and aggression control. Fourth, delivering images and sound to the brain. It is possible to directly stimulate the brain from external devices to induce perception similar to video or audio. Initially, microwave auditory effect, also known as the Fairy effect, involves irradiating the high-power microwave onto a person's head, enabling them to perceive sound inside the ear without external speakers. Secondly, there is cortical vision prosthesis, a device that stimulates the visual cortex electronically using artificial vision devices. Electronical signals are sent to the brain to allow image recognition. Additionally, with VR and neurofeedback, sensory feedback combined with brainwave analysis in VR environment enables the injection of intended image or emotions. Now, I will explain the current reality of this technology and their future development directions. The truly frightening combination is AI, neuroscience, and wireless communication. AI has advanced to the level of interpreting or predicting what a person thinks by learning brainwave pattern, visualize fMRI data and language signal. It has reached the stage where it can predict behavior based on a person's implanted thought patterns. Recent research has announced technology that detect a person's heart rate, breathing, location, and behavior changes using Wi-Fi, and MIT's YVI technology has succeeded in sensing human movement through words. This raises the question, can the brain be hacked via Wi-Fi? Currently officially customized simulation through Wi-Fi and smart device network hacking for psychological manipulation is already partially realized, and full realization is technologically quite feasible in the near future. Next is nanomind. Magnetogenetic interface for neurodynamics, developed by Korean researchers from IBS and Yonsei University. This technology, which is non-invasive and wireless, is the world's first successful example of mind control, attracting global attention. To summarize, the core technology, nanomagnetic particles with nanoscale magnetism are genetically inserted into specific neuron, and when a rotating magnetic field is applied externally, the nanoparticles rotate and selectively stimulate the targeted neuron. Experimental results include inducing maternal instinct behavior in mother-deficient female mice to care for pups, enabling 100% increase or 50% decrease in appetite, and successfully increasing social appealative behavior. This is supported by Professor Chester Hyun, the 2024 paper in Nature Nanotechnology titled Magnetogenetics for Cell Type Specific Targeting and Modulation of Brain Circuits. I will now summarize what I explained earlier in simpler terms. The MK Ultra project, which aimed to develop mental manipulation, torture, brainwashing, and interrogation techniques, was conducted from the 1953 until 1973. Since then, similar technology have been continuously developed worldwide under various names and purposes. As I mentioned earlier, Korea became the first country in the world to realize mind control through the nanomind technology. By combining these technology, the process would involve injecting or administrating nanoparticles to people using nanomind technology, hacking brain via Wi-Fi, that is using AI and neuroscience, wireless communication technology, reading thoughts, implanting thoughts, controlling behavior via brain-computer interfaces, inputting and outputting voices and visual information, monitoring past memories, inducing physical pain and illness, and controlling all 5 senses. In the near future, all company workers, all citizens, all voters, and indeed all people worldwide could be subjected to such a control via Wi-Fi. If dictator, authoritarian group, or exploitative corporations acquire these technologies and have the financial resources, and organization, it became possible. Evidence is seen in myself and many others who have become illegal test subjects, so-called Maruta, suffering brain hacking, mind control, electromagnetic torture, stalking, and other abuses. Victim groups and online communities exist, but they are often infiltrated by perpetrators aiming to disrupt these groups. Perpetrators can be found everywhere. I myself am injuring brain hacking, mind control, and electromagnetic torture experiments at work, at home, and even from apartment. Neighbors living above the below me and below me. Soon, you too could be victims, and perpetrators will soon also become victims. Now, everyone must realize this. While visible election fraud is pushed through regardless invisible enslavement of all workers, citizens is a piece of cake. In communist country, once this technology is advanced, enslaving the entire population will be very easy. If someone like Hitler emerges anywhere in the world, acquiring this technology along with AI, Wi-Fi, and supercomputers, it will not be impossible to enslave not only their own citizens, but people worldwide. Let me imagine from the perspective of malicious corporation or authoritarian ruler, how they would virtually plan the enslavement of workers and citizens. This way, we can be prepared in advance. First, toward exploitative large corporation. This would contact state intelligence agency and cooperate to obtain these technologies, or they may acquire this technology through separate channels. Next, they would secretly mix nanoparticle or nanorobots into food served at the company cafeteria and have workers regularly consume them without their knowledge. Then the company install dedicated Wi-Fi throughout the workplace to synchronize individuals via Wi-Fi and nanorobots. Through brain-computer interface on computer, they would monitor thoughts, hack memories, control thoughts and behavior, and in worst cases, induce diseases. The exploitative corporation thus implement mind control, brain hacking, electromagnetic torture, and disease induction to enslave each workers. Initially, they enslave executives and those in key positions, then target militant labor union, followed by problematic employees, and finally the entire workforce. With just a snap of fingers, the malicious employer can enslave and control all workers. That would eliminate all labor management conflict permanently. Anyone who speaks up or resists would be isolated and subjected to electromagnetic torture, disease induction, or mind control to prevent rebellion. Like me, in the case of nations, dictators, or authoritarian political party, they could apply this to the entire population. They would collude with food companies to insert nanorobots into processed food or cooperate with vaccine companies to include nanorobot in vaccines. These substances wouldn't be detectable in standard blood tests. They would then partner with telecommunication company to synchronize the entire population via Wi-Fi and later with smartphone as well. By connecting all of this to a supercomputer and BCI brain-computer interface, they could control the entire nation. During election, they could force people to vote for a particular individual or party, securing permanent rule just like in North Korea. This would electively eliminate the possibility of mass public protest. If they already conduct fraudulent election and manipulate this key position in government using all sort of methods, using this technology, which is invisible, undetectable, and difficult to understand, would be even easier. Think carefully. Why do you think this technology is being developed and tested on so many illegal human guinea pigs? Before it's too late, we must expose everything and enact laws to regulate and control this entire field of technology. Isn't that right thing to do? If we hesitate even for a moment, everyone will become slaves to those inflicting this suffering. Your children will also be subjected to the same fate. If you are laughing now, finding this entertaining, know that this is no time to be amused. There is not much time left. As AI technology advances, the time we have left decreases proportionally. Most of the remaining technologies are already complete. The proof is people like me, illegal test subject. I currently work at HD Hyundai Heavy Industry in Ulsan. In 2018, the company ordered me to be dispatched to Shanghai, China for 6 months. However, I had to return after just 3.5 months due to being subjected to electromagnetic torture. About 2 months into my stay in Shanghai, I began to experience electromagnetic torture from someone living in hotel room above mine. I endured the pain as long as I could, and I returned after 3.5 months. The company spread the humor that I have returned due to homesickness. Even now, after returning from Shanghai, I am still being subjected to electromagnetic torture by a man named Seoul, who lives in the apartment above mine. The same kind of attack I have suffered in Shanghai in 2018. Now, let me talk about the main type of harm that many victims, not just myself, are suffering, experiencing. The first is surveillance at work. Teams have been monitored me. For example, if I'm thinking, should I take the train or drive to Seoul tomorrow? Someone nearby will say out loud, traffic will be bad to Seoul tomorrow. Either while talking to themselves or on the phone call. When I get up to go to the restroom, people station along the hallway as if they knew in advance, rotate in and confront me with specific behavior or words. It feels like I'm under total siege. They try to interfere with and control everything I do. The second is visual surveillance. Even when I'm at work, at home, or outside in area with no one around, people somehow know what I saw. They either mention it the next day or call me in real time and speak as if they are watching my surroundings. This is visual data hacking. The third is thought manipulation. This includes psychological manipulation, subconscious manipulation, and emotion feeling manipulation. When thought manipulation occurs, it resonates and synchronizes with the brain, causing headaches. When brain memory is hacked, I feel lethargic or sleepy. Most morning when I arrive at the office and sit at my desk, I feel foggy-headed for around 30 minutes. Sometimes when I turn around unconsciously, like this, see signs or posters with words related to my thoughts or concern at work. It often happens that I suddenly and unconsciously start saying things in my mind about topic of interest to others. It's just like a lab rat. The course is behavior control. While traveling from Ulsan to Changwon on business trip, I was manipulated to turn the steering wheel like this, which causes a tire to blow on the highway divider. I have even been controlled while sleeping. When I cursed the perpetrators silently in my mind, I was made to slap myself in the head with my stretched hand like this. The piece is hallucinations, visual, auditory, and olfactory. One night I saw a geometric hallucination, a scale white sheep. I have also heard voices as if someone had a specific purpose, criticized, limiting me. These voices were directly related to my real life circumstance at the time. Physical torture have continued since 2018, both from So Yeon-seok, who lives upstairs, and others around the apartment at my workplace. I have suffered persistent headaches and chest pain. At times, So Yeon-seok has shot high energy waves at my skin, causing frequent damages. I have been hit in my eye while sleeping, waking up in severe pain. Men are also tortured through prolonged pulse erections. I have also heard that female victims suffer sexual electromagnetic torture. People like me are called TIs, targeted individuals. There is a neighbor cafe online community for victims like me that has 4,597 members, and there are several other similar communities. Since 2018, I have submitted dozens of complaints and letters to every relevant institution in South Korea about these crimes. However, not a single investigation or face-to-face inquiry has been conducted. Why? Because there are no relevant law in this country. In the U.S. Congressman Dennis Kucinich from Richmond proposed the Space Preservation Act in 2001, which prohibits this type of technologies. In Russia, on July 26, 2001, Federal Law number 103 was enacted, banning the use of non-lethal weapons that cause psychological or physical harm, including electromagnetic waves, infrared, ultrasound, and infrasound. I will now show you photos and other material related to the matters I mentioned earlier. These photos show you infant and young girl subject of the MK Ultra project. This is a newspaper article about the MK Ultra project that was carried out by the CIA. And this photo is of a female victim whose face and entire body suffered a skin burn caused by electromagnetic weapons. In addition, this illustration is an example diagram of an electromagnetic weapon. And these photos are protested around the world in both Eastern and Western countries against the use of electromagnetic weapons. Here is protest in Japan. Here is even a protest taking place in front of the UN building. Furthermore, the next is the U.S. Space Preservation Act of 2001, which proposed a ban of the use of electromagnetic weapons, mind control weapons, and weather modification weapons. And this is also Russian law enacted in 2001, which prohibits the use of non-lethal weapons that negatively affect the human mind and body, including electromagnetic, ultrasonic, and infrasound weapons, as well as devices and means that influence the human nervous system and psychological states. They are subjected to criminal and administrative penalties if used illegally. And this is a record. Tens of complaints and petitions I have filed with the National Human Rights Commission and Prosecutor's Office and Ministers of Justice, the police, the National Grievance Center, and other authorities. So now you should be able to see clearly that the existence of brain hacking, mind control, and electromagnetic torture technology is undeniable. Now, it should be clear to you that technology like brain hacking, mind control, and electromagnetic torture do exist. Do you know why God allows both good and evil to coexist in this world? Because He granted us the greatest gift, free will. So we could choose between the two. But these forces of evil are trying to steal our free will and place it under their feet. Will you just sit back and watch until you too become a slave Let us join hands and rise together. We must raise up a wall that is falling into rain. Recognizing the problem is the first step to solve this critical crisis. Together, we can stop this. Together, we can stop this. Let's hold hands and move forward. Thank you very much.